The twins tore through wrapping paper while Christmas lights blinked softly in the dim living room. Their laughter filled the air, but I couldn't hear it. Not really. I watched from the couch, my hands clasped together so tightly my knuckles had gone white. The tree shimmered behind them, the scent of pine and cinnamon candles thick in the air. Everything looked perfect. Too perfect. The kind of holiday photo you'd see framed on a mantel. But tonight wasn't about joy. It was about truth. "Daddy, can we open the red boxes now?" Emma asked, holding one of the neatly wrapped gifts I'd placed under the tree last. Her brown curls bounced as she turned toward me, curls that used to remind me of their mother. "Yeah, Dad," Liam added, already tugging at the ribbon. I forced a smile and nodded. "Go ahead." Across the room, Sarah, my wife, sat cross-legged on the rug, her eyes gleaming in the glow of the lights. She looked peaceful, radiant even, sipping her cocoa as if she didn't have a care in the world. Her gaze flicked to me, warm, trusting. The sight of it made my stomach twist. The twins tore open the boxes and pulled out small envelopes, each labeled with their names in my handwriting. They looked at me curiously. "What's this?" Emma asked. "Something important," I said softly. Sarah tilted her head, smiling faintly. "Oh, what surprise did you plan this time?" Her tone was light, teasing. "It used to make me melt. Tonight, it scraped like sandpaper." "Go ahead, kids," I said. "Open them." The twins slid out folded sheets of paper, colorful DNA test results with printed barcodes and graphs. Sarah's smile faltered. "DNA results," she said, laughing nervously. "What's this about, Mark?" I didn't answer her. I just watched. The twins' faces were blank, confused, too young to understand what they held. I stood, my pulse thudding in my ears. I walked over to the tree, picked up one last gift, an envelope wrapped in gold paper, and handed it to Sarah. "Merry Christmas," I said. My voice sounded distant, hollow. She looked up at me, her fingers trembling slightly as she tore open the wrapping. Inside was a single sheet of paper, the divorce papers, and beneath it, another envelope. What is this?" she whispered. "Keep going," I said quietly. She opened the second envelope. Her breath caught. It was a printed sheet with an address, a name highlighted in yellow. When she looked up at me, all the color had drained from her face. How did you find out?" I said. "You left too many breadcrumbs, Sarah. The late-night texts. The business trips that didn't match your company's calendar. The receipts from a hotel 2 towns over. At first, I told myself it was innocent. That you just needed space. That you'd come back." The twins looked up at us, their wide eyes darting between us, sensing something was terribly wrong. "Mark, not here," she whispered sharply. "Please. Not in front of them." I laughed, but there was no humor in it. "Not here. Not now." "When, Sarah?" "After another year of pretending they're mine." Her lips parted, but no words came out. Tears began to form in her eyes. Emma tugged at my sleeve, her voice small. "Daddy, what does it mean?" I knelt down beside her, my throat tight. "It means I love you both more than anything," I said. "But sometimes, grown-ups make mistakes they can't fix." Sarah stood, shaking her head. "You're hurting them. This isn't the way." "Then what is the way?" I snapped. "Lying to them for the rest of their lives. Pretending I didn't find out the man you told me was just a friend is their real father." The silence that followed was suffocating. Liam dropped the paper in his hands, eyes glassy. "Mom." She sank to her knees, her voice trembling. "Sweetheart, I love you both so much. You're my world. That doesn't change anything." "It changes everything," I said quietly. The kids didn't understand, not yet. But they would. Someday they'd look back at this night and know it was the moment their family broke. Sarah turned to me, tears streaking her cheeks. "Mark, please. You don't have to do this. We can fix it. We can talk." I shook my head. "There's nothing left to fix." She stepped forward, reaching for my hand, but I pulled away. I'd spent months hoping she'd confess on her own. I'd given her every chance. But she chose silence, denial. The day I got the DNA results, I sat in my car for hours, the envelope open in my lap. I'd gone numb. Even now, looking at her, I wanted to believe there was some mistake, that the test was wrong. But the truth was printed in black and white. There was no chance I was their biological father. And now, Christmas or not, the truth had to breathe. The room felt colder. The twinkling lights reflected in the tears pooling in Sarah's eyes. "You can hate me," she whispered. "But don't punish them." "I'm not punishing them," I said. "I'm giving them what they deserve, the truth. And what you deserve." I nodded toward the divorce papers in her hand. "You get to start over. With the man you chose. He lives 2 hours away, right? That's the address, isn't it?" She covered her mouth, sobbing quietly. "Mark, please." "I was willing to forgive the emotional distance," I said, voice shaking. "The lies about working late, the strange smell on your clothes, the nights you'd turn away from me in bed. I told myself I was paranoid. That you still loved me." Her tears fell harder. "I did. I do." "Then why him?" The question hung in the air, unanswered. For a long time, the only sound was the faint buzz of Christmas lights and the kids' quiet breathing. I finally turned toward the twins, my chest heavy. "Go upstairs," I said softly. "Mom and I need to talk." They obeyed without a word, clutching their unopened gifts. As their footsteps faded, I faced Sarah again. She sank onto the couch, staring at the papers in her hands like they might vanish if she held still long enough. "Why?" I asked again, quieter this time. "Was it because he made you feel alive? Because you wanted something new? Or was I just safe?" She looked up at me, her face broken. "I don't know," she said. "I thought I could love both. But I got lost. And I didn't know how to tell you." Her honesty hit harder than a lie. I nodded slowly, every ounce of anger turning to exhaustion. "Then I guess this is goodbye," I said. I walked toward the door, slipping my coat on. Outside, snow began to fall, soft, silent, almost merciful. I paused, looking back one last time. Sarah sat beneath the glow of the tree, surrounded by the wreckage of Christmas wrapping and broken illusions. "I hope he's worth it," I said quietly, and left. The cold air hit me like a slap, sharp and clean. I didn't look back. For years, I'd imagined Christmas as a time of forgiveness, family, and love. But sometimes, the gift you give isn't wrapped in paper or tied with ribbon. Sometimes, it's the truth, painful, necessary, and final. And as I walked away from the house that once held everything I loved, I realized that was my gift, to her, to them, and finally, to myself.